There's at least a little chunk of that WWE universe that they are chanting, "We want to." Every night, I prove myself to the WWE universe by strapping them on my back and stealing the show. Every time I set foot in that ring, I show them how damn good I am at this! They can feel what I feel. They know what I know. They will follow me down the line all the way to the finish. And tonight, maybe tonight is the night that the world recognizes who the best damn wrestler is in this business!
What's good, everybody? My name is the Generation 71. Thank you for tuning back into Behind the Scenes of the WWE. Today we're going to go behind the scenes with the Dolph Ziggler to see who he is behind his on-screen persona. Because in case you didn't know, what you see on TV is 9 times out of 10 not true. But we'll go over that here in a second. I will also talk a little bit more about his on-screen persona in this particular video, because there's not a lot going on behind the scenes, to be particularly honest with you. Just a couple of, wow, I can't believe that, and that's kind of funny stuff. We'll get to all of that here in a second. Essentially, with Dolph Ziggler, as far as his on-screen persona goes, a lot of people consider him to be the best seller in the business. What I mean by that is he can sell pain really well. So as far as when he actually takes a clothesline or gets dumped off the ring 5 feet below onto the very thin padded ground, or even when he actually does a drop kick himself or a super kick, he sells that really well. He makes you believe that either he's in pain or he dealt out a lot of pain. And a lot of people don't realize that in this business that's really kind of hard to do, because whether the pain's there or not, you don't always necessarily scream in anguish as a lot of people consider it. I mean, I'm actually one of those people myself where if I were actually thrown to the ground from 5 feet above, I'm pretty sure I'd be like, ow, and then just groan a lot. And obviously with a blazing crowd, with millions of people watching you and not microphones being placed on your bodies, of course, you can't really hear those grr sounds. So you really have to make sure you tell a story with your face. So that's why a lot of people consider Dolph Ziggler to be one of the best sellers in the business. As well, he's probably one of the most athletic people in the WWE as of today, because he actually had an amateur wrestling background. Now, a lot of people don't consider this, that when a lot of wrestlers who come up through the ranks don't necessarily have an amateur wrestling background. Amateur wrestling is legitimate wrestling. You're on the mat. You either go for pins. There's some amateur wrestling where they actually let you do submissions, but even with that, you're just stretching out an opponent just to kind of wear them down to eventually still get the pin. He held a lot of records at his particular school. Of course, they've been beaten now because, I mean, every record's meant to be broken. But that's why a lot of people consider him so athletic. If you've seen some of his matches, he can do some crazy things like that particular move you just saw there right now, particular leg drop. Not a lot of people can pull that off and make it look as fluid as other people might. And I think that's a partly due to athleticism. Whether you're actually going up and punching somebody or actually flying off the top rope, athleticism makes it look more fluid, if that makes sense. But with Dolph Ziggler in particularly, he had a lot of dreams of actually becoming a WWE superstar at a very young age. He was one of the very few people that said, 5 years old, I want to be a professional wrestler. And then 12-year-old is like, yep, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. There's not too many people out there that have decided that, really, or I guess decided that at such a young age. So you got to give Dolph Ziggler props for that he knew what he wanted from the get-go. But it's also even more impressive with him is he also had a backup plan, if that makes sense. He actually went to college. He had a major in political science and a minor in pre-law. And before he actually joined the WWE, at least the developmental side of it, he was actually ready to go to law school. So he knew that he needed a backup plan in case this dream didn't work out. And a lot of people don't necessarily keep that into account, where you got to make sure you're prepared in case your dreams don't work out. But if you work hard enough, you'll excel in whatever you do, however you do it. So I think that's really, really impressive when it comes to Dolph Ziggler. And not to mention, I mean, just he wasn't always guaranteed to always stick with the WWE. A lot of people don't remember that he used to be a part of this amazing faction. Faction means a group in the WWE, but amazing faction, which is the Spirit Squad. I hated these guys with a passion. This was when I was still just trying to understand wrestling. And when I was understanding wrestling, I didn't understand. It's like, why do these guys come out? Why are they just constantly beating people up? It just makes no sense. But I mean, that's how a good story is told. But when the Spirit Squad ended up just, not working out, even after they won the World Tag Team Championship at the time, he went back to the developmental series. Still was trying to develop his skills overall, and eventually came back with the ring name of Dolph Ziggler. So that's proof enough that, hey, if it doesn't work the first time, try again, because there's a good chance you're going to fail. I mean, hell, even with me in particular, I've failed 5,000 times, yet I'm still at this YouTube thing. So, other than that, I mean, not much more to actually go into. I mean, with Dolph Ziggler, he's, I guess, one of the most underrated superstars up there with, like, Kofi Kingston and a couple others, where the WWE hasn't necessarily given them the push because they're still pushing their top dogs instead of trying to develop for the future. But I think Dolph Ziggler will definitely be one of the better people in the future, one of the more talented people in the future. He still does kind of need to work on his in-ring persona, though. Not necessarily, hey, he's a show-off, but actually doing a promo with a camera. Not necessarily quite there, if that makes sense. Or at least there's something that the audience is still missing. So. But alright guys, I think I'm going to cut it there for now. Again, if you like this, or if there's a particular wrestler you want me to cover, definitely leave a comment in the comment section down below, as well as leave a like if you definitely liked it, disliked it if you didn't like what I did today. So I always appreciate feedback, it's always good. But anyways guys, this has been the Generation 71, and we'll catch you guys later.